really interesting discoveries in neuroscience at the moment, and what neuroscience is starting to tell us is that nothing is definite. Nothing that has ever occurred back here is definite. And I was just having a conversation with one of the heads of neuroscience at the University of Melbourne, and we were discussing how, first off, our emotions are the fabric of the future. And we then got to talking about memory, because our memories are what govern our emotions. And we were discussing the fact that our previous memories, every time we remember something, we color it with the present. So we tweak it. We tweak every time we pull a follow-up or a memory in our minds. Every time we pull it up and we tweak it, and we keep tweaking those memories. So therefore, the memory that you have of your childhood today is completely different to the reality of what happened back there. So what we started to realize was that if we have a distorted memory of the past, we can only but create a distorted future. So therefore, how do we create a future that we want? How do we create something in the future that is not based on past memories, but that is based on our present reality, something that is true for us now? And how do we create a future and fulfill dreams and aspirations that we have if every time we go to create our future, it's based on emotion that's based in the past, and that emotion is a distortion. So what they did was they ran some memory tests on people that had witnessed the Twin Towers going down in 9/11. And they interviewed them at that particular time, you know, about 3 months after the actual destruction and after the event. And then they interviewed them 10 years later. And when they interviewed them 10 years later, what they found was their remembering of what occurred was completely different. In some cases, where they were, who was with them, what clothes they were wearing, the location they stood in, how they saw it. So that meant that every single time over that 10-year period that these people were remembering the event, they kept tweaking it and tweaking it and tweaking it until the event was completely a lie to them. It was completely not the reality of what actually occurred. So how freeing is it for us to understand that, you know, whatever occurred back there, those memories are distorted, they're lopsided, they don't actually mean anything. Therefore, the emotions that are coming out of them are not the true potential of who you are, but they are also distorted. Now, the interesting thing there is that if emotions are the fabric of our future, if emotions, you know, are part of our broadcasting system and how we bring about what we're feeling about, then if we're feeling sadness when we wake up in the morning, when we're in that prime time, when we're waking up in the morning and we're creating a reality, if we're in a state of sadness, well, then we will create events that make us feel sad, because the emotion that you're feeling is the fabric of the future. So therefore, this for me was about confirming the true nature of what is required of us when we want to create an extraordinary future, when we want to fulfill goals and we want to have a vision for our lives. And we got to talking about the fact that when an event has occurred for us, as I'm always saying to people, when an event has occurred for you that fulfills the immortal nature of who you are, what you feel inside of yourself is gratitude. You feel this huge level of gratitude. In some cases, a tear will roll down the side of your face and you feel whole, and you feel as if you're part of that event, and you feel as if you feel humble and you feel awake and aware. So therefore, if we want to create a future, we have to get really, really into that state of gratitude, and then feel that state of gratitude and feel that state of love. And if that is the true emotion, then that is the emotion that is colliding and broadcasting and collaborating to bring about what we call our dreams and aspirations. So a lot of people have two people then. They have the person that is emotional, the person that doesn't feel enough, the person that wakes up every morning sad, and then they have this other person that they want to be, which is the person that is achieving goals, dreams, and aspirations, is feeling enough. So the goal then is to look at the things that are making you feel sad, really become present to that memory, and understand that it's a lie. It's a minimization or a maximization of what happened. And that's the definition of a lie. The definition of a lie is a minimization or maximization of what occurred. And if we get into the truth of it and stop and say, and the only way to do that, the only way to get to the truth of that event is to stop and say, okay, how was it of service to me? What did it teach me? How did it enable me? Till you get to a point that you feel truly grateful. And then when you're in that state of true gratitude, that's the gratitude that you want to be waking up to every morning and creating your reality from that point.